Welcome to week 5 online learning instructions. Thank you guys for taking the time to actually watch and listen to what I am looking for from you for the week. I'm going to hop right into the first couple things that I'm looking for you to do. We're going to do 2 new assignments. The first one is 10.2. You'll watch the YouTube video, take the notes, and then go ahead and head onto the Big Ideas portal to do the assignment. Same idea, other new lesson will be 10.3. You'll watch the YouTube video, print off the notes, take the notes, and then go onto the Big Ideas portal to complete the 10.3 homework assignment. There is also a picture project that I'm going to talk to you about here in just a second, but before we do, I want to let you know it is important that you actually take good notes and you try to really listen as I teach those new lessons this week, because next week there will be a quiz over 10.1 and 10.1 through 10.3. Once again, don't race through your homework. Please try to take the time to make sure you're understanding the concepts. I know I'm not there in person to actually answer all of your questions via class, so I want you to use this check button before you submit an answer on your homework. Check it to see if you've got it correct. I'm giving you up to 3 options to be able to keep going back and trying to see, can you get it correct? If you're stuck and still don't understand it, use the help button. This is going to help you with a person on there who's going to actually kind of teach you through it. Another example that's almost identical to the one that you keep not understanding. So use those 2 features in the Big Ideas portal to help you. Another one I want you to make sure, this right now says 0 out of 10 answered. Some people are submitting quizzes, tests, and homeworks before actually answering all the questions. Check that area down there to see, did you answer everything before you click the submit button? Now, just a second ago, I said that there was going to be a picture project this week. This is going to be covering prisms, cylinders, and pyramids. We learned about prisms in 10.1, cylinders will be in 10.2, and pyramids is going to be in 10.3. So make sure you watch those videos and do the homework assignments before you try to start working on this project. Because we're all stuck in quarantine, I came up with an idea that you can actually do within your own house. So you're going to take a picture of 5 total objects that are around your house. The objects need to come from at least 2 out of these 3 categories, cylinders, prisms, or pyramids. So you're not going to send me pictures of 5 cylinders. I want them to come from 2 separate categories. You can see over here in my examples, I came up with 3 cylinders. Notice right here you can see I have labeled it that these are my cylinders. The 3 cylinders I've also labeled the object. It's a magic wand, a Nerf bullet, and a spot it game. Notice I only had 3 that came from the cylinder section. Now, I next will be talking about triangular prisms. We learned about prisms in 10.1, so you should already understand about prisms. Here you can see I've come up with 2 triangular prisms. One's a block of cheese and one is a piece of pretend pizza. So as you can see, I have labeled the object and I have told you what category it came from. When you are finished with doing this, you're going to go ahead and text me a picture of your final project through the Remind app. Notice I am sending it in 2 pictures. You do not have to send it to me in 5 separate pictures. Instead, combine the things that are together and try to snap those all in one shot. Notice also, last piece of information, you must be in the picture 2 with your objects. So now I want to give you a couple examples of what I am not looking for this project. As I said before, we learned about prisms in 10.1, and this is true. It is a rectangle. You can see it's got a rectangle bottom part and top part. Those are my 2 bases, which we learned about in 10.1. So although this is a rectangular prism, I am not in the picture. Therefore, that will not count, and you will not get credit for that when doing your project. Next up, you'll learn in 10.3 that a pyramid actually has a peak that comes up to a little point at the top. If you notice, this is actually a picture of a cone, not a pyramid. So look carefully when you're trying to find pyramids. Next up, you can see this looks pretty good. I can see that that looks like a rectangular prism. I've got 2 of them. The only problem here is I cannot see what in the world that little tiny piece of paper says. So you've got to make sure that it is easy for me to be able to read how you've labeled it. Instead, you would want something like this that would help you to see, okay, now I can see the writing there. Those are 2 rectangular prisms. One is a puzzle and one is a chocolate bunny. Next up, you can also see I am in the picture. So this is a perfect example of what I am looking for. Next up, you can see here, this is a triangular pyramid. That's great. You're going to learn it does have a triangle base. You can see it back there. And it does come to a point. So yes, this is a triangular pyramid, but there's still one thing wrong with this picture. I am not in it. Therefore, you would not get credit for something like that. So please look carefully at all the instructions before you try to submit any of your photos to me. At the end of the week, after everyone has submitted all of their assignments, I will go back into the Big Ideas portal and I will release your work back to you so that you can review what it is that you have missed on tests or quizzes. This is why it's really important that you not wait until the last minute to submit your assignments, because there's a lot of other students that are waiting to get their work back. And especially for those of you, if you're submitting things after the time that it's due, it makes it very difficult for me to be able to send it to everyone else. So please try to turn your work in on time. And I want to show you this feature. You can see that your work is released back to you by going into just the Big Ideas portal, and you'll see this red button where it says See All. You're going to click that button. Once you've clicked that button, it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. There's 3 different sections. This is the to-do section, this is your overdue section, and then there's the submitted section. So hopefully at this point you would have submitted the work that you're trying to see. You'll click on that submitted section button, and next up you'll see a screen that looks like this. So there's a few different buttons that I want to point out to you here. The first one is a little green check mark. That's a fantastic thing. That means you got it right, and you don't need to worry about that one. Then there's other ones that look like this, an X. That means you did not get it correct at all and something went wrong. So you can click on it to see what exactly it is that you did that was wrong. Also, there's going to be this little yield button. That means you probably got part of it correct and I was able to give you partial credit for it. In case you're wondering, why did I only get 50%? Well, sometimes it's got a 2-part question. Here you can see this person answered supplementary correct, but they did not answer this part correct. So they got 50% of it. There's also another way. If you send me your work on quizzes and tests, I need you to write it. You can see this is a perfect example of writing the original problem, showing me their work, and boxing in their answer. This is another way that I can go in. I can check to see where did you mess up, and I am able to give partial credit back. Remember, it's very important after you've submitted a quiz or a test to immediately text me a picture of your work in the Remind app. So once again, just a reminder, our submission deadline, everything has to be turned in by 3 o'clock on Fridays. If it is after that, homework assignments, you can still receive 50% if you turn it in, but please get it in by Sunday night. Next up, quizzes and tests. This is including the work. You have to send me your work. If your test or quiz is submitted but I don't have your work, it is still considered late, and you will be losing 10 points per day. So that's dropping an entire letter grade. Please make sure you turn your work in on time. Lastly, I can see there are quite a few of you that appear to be getting frazzled like this poor child right here. I am here to help you anytime throughout the week, but specifically we do have our help class on Mondays at 1 p.m. If you're someone who's really struggling, please hop on there, let me help you. If you're not struggling, that's okay. If you've got questions about this project, hop on there, let me talk to you and answer any questions that you might have. I hope you guys have a good week, and I look forward to seeing your work.